What is the factory design pattern, how to implement it, and when should you use it? The factory design pattern is one of the most commonly used creational design patterns in Java. Its main purpose is to separate object creation logic from the rest of the application so that the calling code does not need to know the exact class that needs to be instantiated. In simple words, a factory is a special class that creates objects for you. Instead of using the new keyword everywhere, you ask the factory to create the object. Why is this useful? Because applications grow, requirements change. You may need different implementations. You may need to switch objects dynamically at runtime. If the object creation logic is scattered everywhere, your code becomes tightly coupled and difficult to modify. The factory pattern solves this by centralizing the creation logic inside one class. Now let's understand this pattern with a simple and clear example that demonstrates exactly how and why the factory pattern is used in real applications. We will build a simple notification system that can send email notifications or SMS notifications. We begin by creating an interface called notification. This interface has a single method named sendMessage, which accepts a string. Next, we create two classes that implement this notification interface: email notification and SMS notification. Email notification prints sending email followed by the message. SMS notification prints sending SMS followed by the message. Now comes the core part, the factory itself. We create a class called notification factory. Inside it, we define a static method named createNotification. This method accepts a type as input, and based on that type it decides which object to create. If the type is email, we return a new email notification object. If the type is SMS, we return a new SMS notification object. Finally, inside the main method, we ask the factory to create objects first. We call notification factory dot create notification and pass email. The factory examines the input, chooses the right class, creates the object, and returns it. The calling code does not know which specific class is being created. It only knows that it gets back a notification object. We then call n1.sendMessage and the email implementation runs. Next, we ask the factory for an SMS notification. This time, the factory returns an SMS notification object. We call n2.sendMessage and the SMS implementation runs. Let's run the program and you can see the output. Sending email, welcome to Java factory pattern. Sending SMS, OTP sent successfully. Perfect. This example clearly demonstrates how the factory pattern hides the object creation logic and gives the calling code a clean, simple and unified interface. Now let's see. When should you use the factory pattern? Use the factory pattern when the exact class to create should not be exposed to the client. Use it when object creation logic is complex, repetitive, or may change in the future. Use it when you want to introduce new object types without changing existing client code. Use it when your application needs to decide at runtime which class to instantiate. In large-scale applications, factories are everywhere. Database connections, parsers, drivers, UI components, validators, loggers, and frameworks like Spring internally use factory patterns extensively. Here is the final answer you can confidently speak in your interview. The factory design pattern is a creational pattern that centralizes object creation and hides the exact class being created from the client. Instead of using the new keyword directly, the client requests objects from a factory, and the factory chooses which concrete implementation to return. It is useful when object creation is complex or when you want your system to be flexible, maintainable, and loosely coupled. The factory pattern helps replace tight coupling with clean abstraction, making your project easier to extend and easier to modify as requirements change. That is the complete explanation of the factory design pattern and when to use it.